Let's look at how to enable two-factor authentication on CloudConnexa. As you can see, I'm logged into the admin user interface. So in order to enable two-factor authentication, I need to expand settings and go to user authentication. As you can see here on the top of the page, two-factor authentication is here and it is disabled at this time. So go ahead, click on edit on the upper right corner of the screen, and then we can toggle the switch under the two-factor authentication to enable it. If you would like to allow users to mark a device as a trusted for 30 days or a 30-day period, then you can toggle this switch. This way, the two-factor authentication is not going to be enforced for that trusted device for the period of 30 days. For the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to leave it as disabled. So go ahead, click on update on the bottom of the page, and then we're going to confirm that we would like to enable the two-factor authentication. So the two-factor authentication is enabled. I have to make a couple of notes here. If you have SAML selected as an authentication method, you won't be able to enable the CloudConnexa two-factor authentication. But the two-factor authentication works with the LDAP as an authentication method. One more thing we need to check here, we need to look at the authentication policies that we have in place. So let's go to expand users and go to groups. As you can see under Connect Auth, some groups they have every time, some they have no, and others they have on prior auth timeout. What this means, basically when it says no, it means that users won't be prompted for credentials during a connection. When it says every time, it means that user will be prompted for their credentials on every connection attempt. So that means that two-factor authentication is going to be enforced every single time that the user tried to connect. When it's set to on prior auth timeout, that means that user won't be prompted for credentials during the next 24 hours following a successful authentication. That means that a user logs in the morning, they get presented with the authentication requirements and the two-factor authentication in this case. And then for the rest of the day or the 24 hours following that time, they won't be presented with credentials. Since we just enabled the two-factor authentication, we want to make sure that all our existing users are being prompted for credentials. Either we need to change the connect auth to every time or on prior auth timeout. Let's look at the accounting and see who we have here. I have Bruce. So let's go ahead and connect as Bruce so we can see the user's experience. As you can see, I already have his profile on the Connect app, and I'm going to go ahead and toggle the switch to get connected. So we get the browser open asking for username password. I'm going to type Bruce's username and then his password, and then click on sign in. And we get presented with this QR code that you need to scan it with your Authenticator app on your phone. So that's what I'm going to do here. Right? Let me go ahead and scan this QR code. And here we go. It's done. I have a code on my phone, so I'm going to click on next. Then it's asking for the code that I have. I'm going to type that code here and click on verify. So as you can see, now Bruce is connected. If I go back to the Connect app, Bruce is connected. Now let's go ahead and disable this or disconnect this. And we're going to go ahead and close this page. Now I'm going to go ahead and reconnect again as Bruce so we can see the user experience after the first time, anytime after that when they log in. So we're going to go ahead, toggle the switch. The browser opens up asking for the username password, which we're going to go ahead and type, click on sign in, and we get the following screen, which is asking for the code that we have on our Authenticator app on our phone. Type the code, and as you can see, we're connected. Again, if I look at the Bruce's account on the Connect app, it shows connected. Let's go ahead, disconnect, and go back to the portal. Now, if we need to reset a two-factor authentication for a user we can just go ahead to that user property. Here we go, like for example, let's choose Bruce again. If I want to reset the two-factor authentication for Bruce, I just click on this three dots next to the account and choose reset two-factor authentication. It's gonna ask for confirmation. I'm gonna confirm it. And now Bruce, if he tries to log in, he's gonna get presented again with the QR code and he needs to add it to his phone. This is for people that they may have a problem accessing their phone or the Authenticator app or any other issues that it may come up. So again, just click on this three dots and choose Reset Two-Factor Authentication. You can also click on the user, go to User Properties, and then you got the 2FA here. You drop that down and you can choose Reset Two-Factor Authentication. So there are a number of ways to reset this. Again, this was a short video on how to enable two-factor authentication. Thank you very much.